The door doesn't knock, it slams. Hard enough to shake the thin walls. Hard enough to make the light flicker. Christmas Eve. Snow falling slow and quiet outside, like the world is holding its breath. Inside the apartment, everything stops. A black woman freezes mid-step, one sock on, one sock off, her arms wrapped tight around a small bundle. The baby shifts. A tiny sound escapes. Then a cry sharp. New. Alive. Before she can reach the door, before she can say a word, it bursts open. He doesn't wait. He never learned how. He fills the doorway like a storm. Expensive coat dusted with snow. Shoes to clean for this place. Anger riding him like armor. A billionaire standing in a one-room apartment that smells of old heat and warm milk. His eyes sweep the room, cold and judging, like he's walking through a bad investment. So this is where you ran to, he says, voice loud, cutting, bouncing, off the bare walls. List 'em. He steps inside without permission. The door swings shut behind him. The baby cries louder. The sound hits him in the chest, but he ignores it. For now, she doesn't move. Her arms tighten around the blanket. The red fabric is faded, worn thin at the edges, but clean. She keeps rocking, slow and steady, the way the nurse showed her. Her heart is racing, but her face stays still. She has lived with storms before. He looks at the chipped table, the single chair, the old couch pushed against the wall. He laughs under his breath. Not kind, never kind. All that money I gave you, he says. And this is how you live. He steps closer, his shadows stretching across the floor. You always did love playing poor. The baby lets out another cry. Softer now, tired. He stops talking. His head tilts. He listens. Something is wrong. That sound doesn't belong here. Not in his plan. Not in his story. He turns slowly. Time stretches thin, like it might snap. His eyes land on the bundle in her arms. He blinks. Once, then again, tiny fingers slip out from the blanket, curling in the air. A small face turns, mouth open, searching. New skin, new life. His breath catches before he can stop it. What is that? He asks, even though every part of him already knows. His voice drops, loses its edge. The room feels smaller now, like the walls moved in. The baby cries again, louder, filling the space between them. She says nothing. She keeps rocking. Her eyes meet his. There is fear there? Yes. But there is something else too. Strength. A line she will not cross back over. This was not how Christmas Eve was supposed to go. She had planned to sit quietly, hold her child, whisper soft words while the world celebrated somewhere else. She did not plan for him to stand here, staring at her life like it offended him. He takes another step forward, then stops. The sound of the baby is getting under his skin now. He points. You didn't tell me, he says. Accusation first. Always accusation. You didn't say anything about this. She finally speaks, her voice low, steady. You didn't answer, she says. Just that. No anger, no begging. The truth lands heavier than shouting ever could. He scoffs, shaking his head. Don't do that, he snaps. Don't put this on me. He paces the room, hands running through his hair. The baby's cry breaks into small hiccups. She hums, softly, a tune her own mother once used. It calms the child a little. It makes him angrier. So what is this, he demands. Some kind of game? He gestures at the apartment. You think this makes you look strong? His eyes flick back to the baby, then away, like he can't look too long. Something about that tiny face feels dangerous. She adjusts the blanket, careful, protective. He's cold, she says. The heat cuts out. Sometimes, he laughs once, sharp and ugly. He should have stayed, he says. He could have had everything. She looks around the room, then back at him. I did stay, she says quietly. For years, silence drops between them, thick, heavy. Outside, a car passes, music faint, joyful. Inside, the air feels tight. He looks at her again, really looks this time. Dark circles under her eyes. Shoulders tense with exhaustion. He sees the unpaid bills taped near the sink. He sees the way her hands shake just a little. But pride keeps him standing tall. Pride keeps his mouth moving. You always wanted drama, he says. Well, congratulations. The baby starts crying harder now, the sound sharp and desperate. He flinches. He hates that he does. Make it stop, he snaps. She doesn't rush. She rocks. She whispers. Slowly, the cry softens. He watches, confused by the ease of it. By the way, she seems to disappear into the child, like the rest of the world. Doesn't matter. He clears his throat. Whose is it? He asks. The question is careless, cruel. Her eyes lift. They lock onto his. You don't get to ask like, that's he says. Calm/firm. It unsettles him more than yelling would. He steps back, just a little. I came here for answers, he says. I deserve to know what you're doing. She doesn't argue. She just looks at him, the weight of the moment pressing down. The baby sleeps now, finally, chest rising and falling in small, perfect breaths. He stands there, billionaire suit, in a poor woman's living room, and for the first time, he doesn't know what to say next. He came to control the story, to remind her who he was. Instead, there is a child between them, silent now, powerful without trying. He stares at the baby again, longer this time. Something in his chest twists. He doesn't understand it yet. He just knows the night didn't go the way he planned. Christmas Eve has cracked open, and whatever is inside that blanket is about to change everything. The questions come fast, one on top of the other, like blows he doesn't bother to soften. Why didn't you tell me? Whose child is that? Are you trying to trap me again? His voice fills the room, loud and sharp, trained by years of getting answers on demand. It's the same voice that once silenced rooms full of men in suits. The same voice that used to cut her down at their kitchen table while she stared at her plate and waited for it to be over. She doesn't answer right away. She keeps rocking the baby, slow and steady, her body turned just enough to shield him. The baby feels the tension. He squirms. His face tightens. His small cry slips out. She hums under her breath, a soft sound meant only for him. That calm, that refusal to react, only makes the billionaire angrier. He hates when she doesn't break. He hates when he can't control the pace. Don't ignore me, he snaps, stepping closer. I'm talking to you. He gestures around the apartment, disgust curling his lip. After everything I gave you, his hand slices through the air as he lists it off. The house in the hills. The cars lined up like trophies. The black cards that never decline. You lived better than most people dream, he says. And you walked away. He laughs, but there's no humor in it. You threw it all away. She shifts the baby higher on her shoulder, patting his back. He smells like milk and soap, warm. Real. She looks past the billionaire's anger and sees the cracks in the walls, the thin curtains fluttering with cold air, the space heater humming like it might give up at any second. He doesn't see any of that. He doesn't see the empty fridge or the notice taped crooked near the sink. He only sees disobedience. A woman who refused to stay where he put her. You left, he continues, voice rising. You wanted freedom? This is what it looks like. He points at the floor, the peeling paint, the single chair. The baby lets out a louder cry now, sharp and sudden. The sound slices through the room. For a split second, it rattles him. His jaw tightens. He forces himself not to flinch. Handle it, he says, as if the baby is a problem to be solved. She turns slightly away from him, bouncing the child gently. He's hungry, she says. Her voice is quiet, steady, not weak. That steadiness hits him harder than shouting ever could. He scoffs. Everything is always something with you, he says. Always a story. Always a reason. She finally looks at him then. Really looks. Her eyes are tired, but clear. I was alone, she says. The words are simple. He laughs immediately. You were never alone, he says. You had everything. She shakes her head slowly. I had money, she replies. I didn't. Have you? The room goes still. The baby's cry turns into a soft whimper. The billionaire's smile fades. She keeps going, because once she starts, she knows she has to finish. You were never home, she says. And when you were already gone. She remembers the nights waiting up, the dinners gone cold, the way he checked his phone more than he checked her face. She remembers telling him she was scared when she found out she was pregnant and how he waved it off like a bad meeting on his calendar. You told me not to worry, she says. You said everything would be handled. Her voice trembles just a little now, but she doesn't stop. You never asked how I felt. You never asked if I was okay. He rolls his eyes. Here we go, he mutters, the victim speech. He steps closer, towering over her, his presence heavy, meant to shrink her. You always do this, he says. You rewrite things to make yourself feel better. The baby cries again, louder, desperate. Now, the sound bounces off the walls, fills every corner. He clenches his fists. That sound is getting under his skin. He points at her. Answer the question, he demands. Whose child is it? She doesn't rush. She keeps rocking. The baby's cries soften, then fade into shaky breaths. She waits until the room is quiet again, until he's forced to hear his own breathing. Lower your voice, she says, not asking, telling. The words hang in the air. He freezes, surprised. No one talks to him like that. Not anymore. He straightens, anger flaring. You don't tell me what to do, he snaps. Not am I. He stops himself, glancing around. The apartment, it's not his. And that realization makes him even angrier. Outside, laughter drifts up from the street. Someone sings off key. A car door slams. Christmas is happening everywhere else. Inside this small room, time feels stuck. You think money makes you right? She continues, her voice low but firm. You think because you paid for things, you owned me. The words land hard. He opens his mouth to interrupt, but she doesn't. Let him. I was scared, she says. I told you that. I told you I didn't feel safe being alone all the time. I told you I needed you. Her eyes flick down to the baby, then back up. You told me to be grateful. Silence follows. Thick, uncomfortable. The billionaire shifts his weight. He doesn't like this version of the story. He doesn't like the way it sounds. When said out loud in a room, this small dot, the baby lets out a small cough. He notices it this time. He looks at the thin blanket. The way the heat barely reaches the corners of the room. Something in his chest tightens, but pride pushes it back down. So what? He says. You expect sympathy? He shakes his head. You made choices? He leans in again, his shadow falling over her and the child. And now you're standing here with a baby, trying to make me feel responsible. The power imbalance is clear. A billionaire in a tailored coat. A black woman in worn clothes, holding her child in a one-room apartment. He's used to this dynamic, used to winning it. She meets his stare and doesn't look away. I didn't tell you to come, she says. You came? The words hit him like a slap. He straightens, stunned. For a moment, neither of them speaks. The baby breathes softly, unaware of the storm around him. She knows something he doesn't. She can feel it sitting heavy in her chest. Waiting, the truth is there. Ready? But she doesn't give it yet. Not while his voice is still loud. Not while his pride is still standing tall. She waits. Outside, someone laughs again. Inside, dignity hangs by a thread. And the night is far from over. She finally looks up at him. Not the quick glance she's been giving all night. Not the careful looks meant to avoid another fight. This time, she really looks. Her eyes are tired, deep tired. The kind of tired that lives in the bones. The kind that comes from long nights and longer fears. There's no fear in them now, just truth. She shifts the baby in her arms, adjusting the thin blanket around his small body. He came early, she says. Her voice is calm, but every word costs. Her Samene said, it happens sometimes. Stress? Pressure? The billionaire scoffs under his breath, already shaking his head, already ready to dismiss it. She keeps talking anyway. He was so small, she continues. I was scared to touch him at first. I thought I might break him. The room feels quieter as she speaks, like even the walls are listening. The hospital bills kept coming. I couldn't pay them. I asked for help. She looks at him when she says that. You didn't answer? He lets out a short laugh, sharp and cold. You made choices, he says. You left. You don't get to blame me for that. His words sound strong, but there's a crack in them now, something uneven. She nods slowly, like she expected that answer. I slept in a chair by his crib, she says. Some nights I didn't sleep at all. I watched his chest rise and fall because I was scared it might stop. The baby stirs, lets out a small sound, then settles again. I called, she says. More than once. I left messages. He turns away, rubbing his face. You're always rewriting things, he mutters. You always do this. She doesn't argue. She doesn't chase his attention. She just says the truth. No lawyer wanted to touch it. She says, not when they heard your name. A billionaire doesn't lose cases like this. He spins back toward her, anger flaring again. So what? He snaps. You think this story is going to trap me? He gestures wildly at the baby. You think I won't see through this? Says when she says it. No, pause. No, build up. Just for words that drop into the room like a weight. He's yours. The words hang there, heavy, unmoving. The room goes silent. Even the heater seems to stop humming. The billionaire stares at her like she's spoken a language he doesn't understand. He shakes his head once. Then again. No, he says. That's not possible. His voice reads, you're lying. He steps forward, eyes wild. Now, you're doing this on purpose. Accusations spill out fast. You always wanted something from me. You always did. His heart is pounding. He can hear it in his ears. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't argue. She just turns slightly and reaches toward the small drawer beside the couch. Her movements are slow, careful, like she's afraid sudden motion might break the moment. She pulls out a folded stack of papers, worn at the edges from being opened and closed too many times. She holds them out to him. I didn't want to tell you like this, she says quietly. But you came. He hesitates before taking them, like the paper might burn him. When his fingers finally close around the file, they tremble. He opens it. His eyes scan the page fast at first, then slower. DNA test? His name printed clearly at the top. Bold, official, unavoidable. The room seems to tilt. His breath catches. He reads it again. Then again. His hands shake harder now. The baby makes a small noise, then goes quiet. He looks up. The baby is staring at him, wide eyes, dark, familiar. Something about that gaze punches him in the chest. His knees weaken. He doesn't plan to sit. His body just gives in. He sinks down onto the chair, like all the strength is drained out of him at once. The papers slip from his hands and land on the floor. The power in the room shifts, sudden and sharp. Just minutes ago, he was standing tall, voice loud, control firm. Now he's seated, staring at nothing, trying to breathe. A father, the word doesn't feel real yet. He thinks of board meetings, private jets, his name on buildings. None of it prepares him for this. He missed the birth, missed the first cry, missed everything that mattered. He looks at the baby again, notices the thin blanket, the way the baby's chest moves just a little too fast. He hears a soft cough. It's small, but it sounds loud in the quiet room. He looks around and really sees it for the first time. The cracked walls, the peeling paint, the space heater struggling to keep up. Shame creeps in, slow and heavy. She watches him closely, not with anger, not with triumph, just waiting. She's carried this truth alone for too long to enjoy his shock. He swallows hard. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He asks, his voice low now, stripped of its edge. She exhales. I tried, she says. You didn't listen. The words are simple, Otis. He nods faintly, though it hurts. He reaches out toward the baby without thinking. His hand hovers in the air, inches away. He freezes. His fingers curl back slowly. He doesn't know how to touch something this small, this fragile. He's afraid of doing it wrong. Afraid of what it will mean if he does it right. The baby shifts again, tiny hands slipping free of the blanket. It curls around, nothing, searching. The sight breaks something open inside him. He lowers his hand, resting it on his knee instead. His eyes fill, but he blinks hard, fighting it. He's not used to feeling this exposed. He's built his life on control, on distance, on winning. None of that works here. He looks up at her. Really looks? I didn't know, he says. It sounds weak even to his own ears. She nods. I know, she replies. Silence stretches again. Outside, a burst of laughter floats through the window. Someone wishes someone else a Merry Christmas. Inside, the world feels changed. He looks at the baby one more time, studying every detail like he's trying to memorize him all at once. He doesn't touch him yet. He doesn't speak. He just sits there, billionaire suit wrinkled now, heart pounding, facing the weight of what his absence has done. The truth rests between them, small and breathing, and nothing will ever be the same again.